student in class tonight asked me about the idea of in Wing Chun, do you want to punch through the object? And I never teach anybody with that mentality to punch through the object. And there's a few reasons why we do that. If you have the mentality that I'm going to have to punch through that object, one, you're going to be using way too much muscle than you think when you're actually developing your punch. Remember, when you're actually developing the punch, you're learning to relax that motion so you have controllable muscle tension. And if I think I'm going to have to punch through this object, I guarantee you're going to be putting way too much more tension into your arm when you're developing the punch. So when you go to apply it, now you're going to be holding on to that tension when you actually try to apply the punch. And two, going along those lines, is that if I have too much tension in my punch motion, if I go to hit something, that could potentially reverberate back into my body, pushing me off the object. And two, it's going to make it hard for me to flow to my next motion. In Wing Chun, I always want to be constantly be able to flow from motion to motion to motion. But if I'm thinking, oh, I punch so hard right here, no, I'm going to have to relax this arm and try to punch with the other hand here. If I have that mentality of punching through the object. So, for example, let's say I've got Mr. Bat right here. I'm going to hit something with this bat. I'm going to be hitting Mr. Dummy. When I go in and I try to have that mentality that I'm going to hit through the object, when I go to hit the dummy with the bat and I make that contact, I'm going to be continuing to push on the dummy to do that. If I'm pushing on the dummy, that's going to kick right back from the bat to my arm into my body, and it could potentially push me away from the dummy, or at the very least, it's going to cause me to tense up while I'm continuing to push into the dummy with that. When you go to hit something in Wing Chun, whether with your fist or any hand formation that you're using, I never want to have that mentality of pushing through it. Because if I come right here and I have that mentality to push through it, yeah, it'll kick back into me. But if I have the correct mentality of to relax my motion, so it's again a controllable tension, when I go to hit that, the bat will naturally stop. I'm not going to be continuing to push into it, so I feel the tension of the bat kicking back into me. So whenever you do something, like if you have an axe or a knife or whatever, and I want to bury that object into whatever it is I'm hitting, or even ultimately translates into my hand, I never want to continue to push on the object. I just naturally hit it, and where it naturally stops, that's where it stops. I just bury it into the object, or I don't continue to push into the object. So if you understand that example, then it'll be easier for you to understand the mentality that I never want to hit with the idea of pushing through the object. Guaranteed, your motion will be way too tight. Good luck. That helps.